terms of large dams. But large dams in a temperate climate is one thing. Large dams in a tropical climate is totally different, where our average temperatures are over 35 degrees. Evaporation rate is over 65% to 70%. So we went for this as emergency solutions, because for nearly 50 years, I think the nation itself was in a survival mode. How to survive was the issue. Only in the last 23, 24 years' time, we are in a development mode. But a time has come that we do this development in a sustainable way, otherwise our development will become a disaster for us. Already the disaster is manifesting at various levels. We have to make this development, don't have to slow down the development, but we have to make it in a sustainable fashion. So having said that, about Kaveri, well, I must tell you that I'm uneducated in these areas. A lot of people are questioning if I have PhD in hydrology. I don't have. It's just that I was born around Kaveri, I grew up around Kaveri, I was deeply engaged with the river, I lived on the river for quite a amount of time. Because I had no education, I paid attention. Because I had no information in my head, I paid attention to everything that I saw. I saw how the insects, worms, fish, animals, everything survived. And it's only from this context I'm speaking, it's only from this context I'm functioning. I'm just like one more worm in the Kaveri. And for information of most people, a worm knows more about the river than one who has PhD in Kaveri. Because a worm lives on it, its life depends on it, its very existence depends on it, so it pays attention. So, having gone through this, what is the problem? The problem is just this. In the last 50 years, we have removed 87% of the green cover. Why did this happen? Are the forests gone? No, forests are generally there, because forest areas were treated as reserve forests. Generally there is some damage, not that there is no damage, there is damage which has to be prevented. There are very good forests still in southern India. There are denuded forests which can be put back. That is not so much my concern because it is a reserve area. Very easily you can put back vegetation. It is the agricultural tracts which are the real problem. Nearly 84% of the plain land in India is under tilling. What tilling means is you're constantly turning the soil over. What turning the soil over means is a whole lot of microorganisms and insects and worms build their homes and we destroy and we destroy and we destroy. But we don't understand, without them, there can be no vegetation, there can be no life. There is more life in the 39 inches of soil. Our concern is only 39 inches of soil. This is where the entire world's life is being nourished. There is more life in this thing than what is existing on the surface. Actually, about 120 to 150 times more. If you take a handful of soil, there are more microorganisms in this handful of soil than all the people put together on the planet. We're talking about 7.6 billion people. There is more life in a handful of soil. But what's happened in the last 40 years? I was living on farms at that time, and that is the time in southern India, probably in Punjab and a few other areas, the fertilizer usage came a little earlier. In southern India, it came only about 35-40 years ago. I clearly remember these fertilizer company agents coming and instructing the farmers, you have to remove these trees. Because if these trees are there, they will take up all the fertilizer, it will not go to the crop. Trees are eating up your fertilizer, you must remove the trees. Crores and crores of trees were removed at that time, simply because it is eating up the fertilizer. Now we are paying for that. It is not only they are responsible for this is a whole movement we did. Essentially the movement is a transplant from Western nations, where the land and the people proposing is at a completely very generous rate, not like how it is in India. Here always our farmers understood trees are part of our life. Especially in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, these kind of traditions were there. If a girl child is born, they will plant 3 trees. If a boy is born, 5 trees. this is not gender discrimination. Because a girl child is born, one thing you will spend some money before her wedding, one tree is cut, jewels, clothes, everything. Wedding celebration, one more tree is cut. When she has the first child, one more tree is cut. After your responsibility is over with her, she is with somebody else in some other household. The boy is a continuous problem. So you need 5 big trees to support him through whatever happens. So this tradition was always they name these trees after their girls or boys. If they have 5 children, that many trees were there and they named them. These 3 trees are for her, these 5 trees are for him. Like this they named them, which is a, fallback economy for the forest, for the farmer, I'm sorry. Right now, if a wedding happens, after that he gets into such a big loan, he cannot get out of it. If you cut a tree in those days, they were getting 5,000 to 8,000 rupees, which was a lot of money. Today the same tree if you cut, you will get 3 to 5 lakhs. What you were getting, 5,000 rupees, you will get 3 to 5 lakhs for the same tree today. If you had that, there wouldn't be this loan waiver business and suicide business, all this wouldn't be there if there was a fallback. So one important thing is without vegetation, when we say vegetation, it's not only trees, other kinds of bushes, grasses, everything needs to come back. But there is money in all this. So the significance of Kaveri calling is that we are engaging the farmer, educating the farmer, how you can earn manifold more than what you are earning right now by bringing trees into your agriculture. This is not some rocket science, but this needs to be delivered properly in a scientific manner. So the simple thing is this, we are growing turmeric, for example, turmeric being one of the main crops in our region. Turmeric is being grown along with trees. I think that farmer came on the film, so that came to my mind. He was sharing with me when I was there, Sadguru, right here, everybody around me is growing turmeric, I'm growing turmeric. I could not convince them about the trees to start with, but now every one of them have engaged and registered with Isha. They want to go into agroforestry because one thing is, I'm producing almost 70% more turmeric than them in quantity. And on the same day, if both of us go to the market, they're getting 7,000 rupees per quintal. I'm getting 12,500 rupees per quintal because the curcumin value in my turmeric is so high simply because of the trees. The tree is nitrogenizing the soil, the leaves are falling, there's a whole activity, life is happening. Soil has to be alive. What we call as our body is just soil. If soil is not alive, this will not be alive. This is a living soil in a way. Just transform soil, that's all this is. So is the tree, so is the crop. The nourishment value of the food has gone up significantly wherever it is grown under agroforestry. So how will it benefit the tree? How will it benefit the river? The important thing is, Kaveri Basin accounts for about 83 to 84,000 square kilometers. We are looking at how to convert at least 30 to 33% of Kaveri Basin to go under shade. This is something that we need to be understood. Even now when I was in the World Economic Forum in Davos just now, they're talking about trillion trees. They bring CEOs from America and they say we will get 10,000 drones and spray seeds all over the world. I said, this is going to be a disaster and waste of money, waste of resources, because the resources have never been directed towards the ecological process in a significant way. Now when it is coming, you want to spray and be done with it. You cannot plant a tree, this must be understood. You plant a seed or a sapling. You can call it a tree for 10 years. It takes 8 to 10 years to call a seed a tree or a sapling. Hello? Yeah. So nobody can plant a tree, this must be understood. Tree is a commitment. Tree is not like engineering solutions. Tree is not like building a dam. Tree is not like building a check dam. Tree is a long-term commitment. If we don't have that long-term commitment, it will not happen. One reason why across the world this kind of solutions have not happened, everybody is looked for engineering solutions is, I'm very candidly saying this, because the life of a democratic government is 4 to 6 years across the world. Now you want to invest money in something which will produce results after 20, 25 years. When resources are always scarce, who wants to invest? Unless people want it. No government, because the government only represents the people. If people do not express that we want this, a government cannot invest in long-term solutions, because day-to-day problems are there, day-to-day issues are there, day-to-day demands are there. How to invest? If you have only 100 rupees in your hand, how to invest 20 rupees for something that will bear results after 25 years? This has to come from people's mandate. This is why it is very significant that this Jal Abhiyan is being taken as a people's movement, not as just government policy, because without people's yes, government has no power or no capability to invest money for long-term processes. People have to say a big yes. This is a very wise thing that this is being taken as a people's movement. Without that, it will not find success. Coming to Kaveri, nearly 5.5 to 6 months, Kaveri is drying up about 175 kilometers short of the ocean. Well, the length of Kaveri is only 804 kilometers. The entire length of Kaveri. The first 150 kilometers is not much, because it's in the mountains. It's only after that it picks up volume. So 175 literally means over a quarter of the river is dry for over 5.5 months. And every year it is receding. That point is going back by about 3 to 4 kilometers per year. What this is doing to the land is, because the river is not flowing into the delta, when it comes to the delta it's spreading out in a big way. The Kaveri Delta is one of the richest lands on the planet in terms of agriculture. It has a history of over 12,000 years of agriculture. Probably nowhere else on the planet are people so clued in to agriculture as it is in Kaveri Basin, much more than Ganga, I'm telling you, because it's a much longer history, much deeper involvement with the land. But today, they are, instead of growing 3 to 4 crops which they were growing, they are growing only 1 crop. And it is not some doomsday saying, but in another 25 years they may be growing nothing, most probably. And they fear that. Already the farmers are afraid. With 1 crop they cannot sustain this thing. They were doing 3 to 4 crops, now there is only 1 crop because the river itself is not coming. See, these are the facts which are going to affect us seriously, because there is an ocean, all 3 sides. We have over 7,400 kilometers of coastline. This is a fantastic wealth. But now this could turn into a disaster, because the rivers are not flowing into the ocean. Means the ocean is flowing into the land. This is called as marine ingress. Right now in Tamil Nadu, in various places up to 65 to 70 kilometers inland, you will find saline water. Slowly people are migrating from these places. Over 150 million people live in the first 50 kilometers of the coastline across the country. If these 150 million people start moving inland, that itself is a major disaster. And that is not far away, because a whole lot of state governments have been talking to various chief ministers. Unfortunately, many of them believe not a drop of water should go into the ocean, we should use it. Every bit of it, we should use it. And I've discussed this with the minister. For the first time, I found somebody in the government who believes water should go into the ocean. Water must, in ideal conditions, at least 50% of the river water should go into the ocean. Considering our population and the situation we are in, at least 25% of the water must go into the ocean throughout the year. Otherwise, marine ingress will happen. Considering the kind of geological background we have in our country, up to 100 kilometers it can come in. If 100 kilometers of 7,400 kilometer coastline it has marine ingress, if it happens in the next 50 years or so, it is literally like you lost 1/3 of the nation. 1/3 of country's land you would have lost to marine ingress if you do not allow water to flow into the ocean. This needs to happen. A certain band is there which is a complete different kind of ecosystem. It is neither fresh water nor marine water, which is running along the coast. That is depleting very badly, and that is a serious concern, because this 50-kilometer stretch, which houses 150 million people, is slowly getting distressed. in the southernmost tip it is seriously distressed. Orissa and other things may be little better off, but it is going to happen everywhere because these rivers which are coming from Nepal are feeding that region, that topmost part of the Bay of Bengal. But otherwise, if those rivers don't come and if they get dammed in Nepal and whatever, then we will have a serious issue with marine ingress. So when we talk about Kaveri, it is not just about one region. This is not only about the nation, this is about the tropical world. This is a solution for the tropical world because unless you marry economy and ecology, there is no solution. There is no such thing as we are capable of investing in ecological solutions without making it an economic process also. So this is what Kaveri Equality is about. Farmers are super enthusiastic about it, and both the governments have agreed on everything that we have proposed. Karnataka is already underway implementing it, we are on the ground. Tamil Nadu is taking a little more time, but it will happen. They have also promised that they will do it. What we are asking is just this. A farmer should be allowed to grow, fell, transport and sell whatever he grows on this land, on his land. Right now, timber is being treated as forest produce. So there are many objections and permissions and transport permits and this and that, all kinds of things which seriously impedes. So nobody wants to grow a tree. Actually, if you grow certain types of trees in your own land and cut it when you need it, you will be arrested, that's all. Right now we are fighting for withdrawal of that law. Our environment minister has promised that he will definitely take these laws off because what the farmer grows, he must be able to take care of and do whichever way he wants. The timber business in the world is $450 billion. Why are we not exploiting it? Our farmers should exploit that. Timber should become an agricultural produce. This is very important. Without these trees will not come up because there is no land to grow new forests. You can dream about it, but the pressure of the population is such, they will not allow new forests to come up unless it's beneficial for them. So it has to become an economic process. So the way it is designed is to ensure that in 10 to 12 years' time, there is a proper timber board, there is a timber exchange where they can go and sell. It should become one of our main produce because we have so much land and we have people who have intrinsic knowledge. It is estimated in the next 10 years, in India alone, there will be 220 million people migrating to cities. As you know, none of our cities are capable of handling this kind of influx. One simple way of stemming the migration is there are long-term standing crops in the land. They will not leave the land. This is the simplest way to stop migration, whether it is urban issues which may not be in the jurisdiction of this ministry, but for rural water issues, I know that we are thinking of water in terms of providing it to the people, which is very essential and which humane to do that. That's an engineering problem, how to pipe water to all these people. But how to hold the rainwater in our land, that it doesn't run away quickly. There is a very beautiful saying in Tamil. We say, only if Kaveri comes walking, she is prosperity. If she comes running, she is a disaster. Right now she is running. When it rains, she runs away. Otherwise she is dry. She needs to walk. If she needs to walk, there has to be substantial vegetation in the entire river basin, not just in the so-called catchment area. These 83,000 square kilometers, if you plant approximately 242 crore trees as we have calculated right now, we will be sequestering 9 to 12 trillion liters of water, which is more than 60% of the existing river water in Kaveri. But she has to go slowly. She is running quickly. If these 2 major dams or 3 major dams were not there, the Kaveri river will be dry for more than 7 to 8 months entirely, because she will run away. Right now we are holding her forcefully by river. But no, that's not the way to hold her. We must hold the water itself in the land and let it go. The soil in the world is capable of holding 8 times more, that means 800% more water than all the rivers on the planet put together. That's how much the soil's capability is. For this, it must have organic content. We have tested this and the scientific reports are there. If 1% increase in organic content happens in the soil in 1 acre of land, in 1 acre of land you can sequester 60,000 liters of water. 60,000 liters of water you can sequester. What is amazing is, I always thought, unless you plant 50 to 100 hectares of land, water table will not come. But the amazing thing is, if you plant just 5 acres of trees, suddenly the water table is coming up in that region, which is nature's bounty. You know, the nature is so responsive to us. We thought we have to do a lot more. Just 5 acres of plantation, you see water table is coming up. That is how responsive our land is. This land has to be nurtured properly. And today, I'm part of this trillion tree campaign. They're talking about if you plant 1 trillion trees, the way the West thinks about it is that it can sequester 2 gigatons of carbon. 2 gigatons means, most of you probably know it, but just to put it in perspective, all the human beings put together, the amount of carbon that we are, is less than 1 gigaton. All the animals and human beings put together, still it is less than 2 gigatons. That is how much carbon 1 trillion trees can sequester. 1 trillion is an inspiring number, but to put it on the ground is another matter. It's another matter because without engaging local communities, without making it an economic process, simply planting seeds by drones is not going to be a solution like that. So in this mechanism, it's extremely important. India's government machinery and the state should get into the act because central government or union government doesn't have geography of its own. It's the states which actually have to implement. So getting all of them together and to act, because this is in common interest, this is not a political process, this is a basic nation-building process.
Thank you, Sadguru, for your enlightening words. Sadguru, our 65% dependability is on underground water. And as we are aware, they have worked for increasing underground water to increase more water under the ground. What do you suggest that we have to do to increase, to withhold more underground water? Because we have taken an initiative recently, for the first time in India, I think, probably, when we have planned a scheme for demand-side management. Otherwise, it used to be always supply-side management, as you have said that the governments, they used to just engineering solutions they were providing. So what do you suggest that what more is to be done? What we have taken is that scheme which is recently launched on 20th of December that says that it is participatory groundwater management. Let the village decide how much water they have, let them account their water, let them audit their water, and let them plant themselves. So it is an incentive-based scheme, but what more is to be done? I think if you say some words, so the people sitting here, they are all policy planners in some or other manner, they will be enlightened and we'll be able to do more in that.
See, groundwater is a serious issue in the country because in this country, compared to the surface water, groundwater is a much bigger resource. Normally in most nations, what is the United Nations average fixed for groundwater usage is it should not be more than 25% of the groundwater we have. But right now I think we are using over 80% of our groundwater. To give you a perspective, where we are next to the Western Ghats. It's a rich land, normally. If you come in this season, you will see it's green and wonderful. But if you come in the month of May, most borewells in Coimbatore region have gone beyond 1,000 feet, 1,200, 1,300 feet. When I first came to Coimbatore, about 35 years ago, the wells were all 60 to 80 feet, the borewells. Today they are 1,200 feet. And In the month of May, most pumps run for 5 to 7 minutes at that depth. This means we're cleaning the aquifers. Normally it is believed the water that is accumulated in the aquifer is 1 million years old. Well, that comes from Western perspective. Here it may not be so, but still it is something that accumulates over a period of time. It is not something that you can do with one good rain or something. It takes a certain volume of time, whatever it is. So for 5 to 7 minutes, it's going dry. If we have 2 failures of monsoon rains, 2 consecutive years, if we have monsoons failing, I'm sorry to say this, we could have serious human crisis, very serious. In the last 110 years, 3 times, 2 consecutive monsoons have failed. So it could happen next year, it could happen after 5 years, 10 years, whenever it could happen, anytime. Because there is a precedence that it will happen sometime. So 2 consecutive years, if there is a monsoon failure, all these wells will go dry, the entire dependence on groundwater resource as a survival process will be hit severely, not just agriculture, just drinking water and a human crisis beyond controllable limits. It will go that way. Well, people have heard about Chennai crisis, but they've not heard about the village crisis. If in every Tamil movie if you see, in the villages, 200, 300, those plastic pots will be sitting for water, women are hanging around, they have nothing else to do, just waiting for a pot of water. And of course it's been a romantic imagery in our movies, an actress will be walking with a pot of water and that's when love affairs happen, they sing a song, they dance, everything, because the actress is carrying an empty pot. The real woman is carrying 20 kilograms on her head, 20-25 kilograms on her head. She will not sing, she will not romance, she can't even open her mouth. That's her condition. And every day she spends 2 to 4 hours in this condition. And this has been taken very lightly. Suddenly when Chennai people have to go with a pot on the street, suddenly it's a crisis. This crisis has been everywhere in the country. But when village people, rural people were doing, we thought that's their life. But when Chennai people have to do it, suddenly it's an international crisis. So, this groundwater is a serious issue. The only way, as I said earlier, the only source of water, we must understand this. In the country, I've been trying to put this across, whatever we say, they say, but rivers are there, ponds are there, wells are there. Rivers, wells, ponds, lakes are only destinations of water. They are not sources of water. There is only one source of water, that is monsoon. And the monsoon, when it comes, we must understand, monsoon is a wind, monsoon is not a rain. So when the monsoon winds come, they bring clouds, and because there is a certain condition on the land, it decides to shed there. Right now, if the monsoon has to travel through the country, what needs to happen is the monsoon clouds cannot just go like this. They come every approximately somewhere between 125 to 200 kilometers, it has to bounce on the land. This is the way monsoon rains goes. It has to bounce. For it to bounce, there must be substantial vegetation. There is something called as transpiration, which triggers the rain. Even if a heavy cloud, black cloud is sitting there, you have to trigger it from here, and rains will come. We have been exploring technologies also for this as to how to trigger, but that's a desperate act. We can easily trigger this with patches of greenery, with trees. It will trigger the rain. So the monsoon is bouncing on the land. Instead of bouncing, what it is doing right now is shedding everything within the first 150 kilometers largely. This is why you see all the coastal towns are having flood and drought situation, because you heard in Mumbai, I think not the last year, but before last year, 1 meter of rain in an afternoon. That's a disaster. This is a cloudburst. Cloudbursts were happening only in totally arid or mountainous regions where there is no vegetation at all. Only there cloudbursts were happening. 1 meter of rain is a cloudburst. And cloudburst has never happened on the coastal region in the last recorded 150 years ever. But 2 years ago, a certain kind of cloudburst has happened, though we did not describe it that way. In my opinion, 1 meter of rain over the afternoon is a cloudburst. It is a cloudburst, you cannot call it anything else. So if cloudburst is happening on the coast, it's simply because it has no monsoon, clouds have no momentum to reach other parts of the land. Right here there is a flood, right there is a drought. Maharashtra has continuously been experiencing this, simply because there is not enough vegetation to let the clouds travel further deep into the thing. So one important thing is vegetation. But there are engineering solutions also. I saw as a part of the mission they've carved out ditches and things. One extra thing we can do with this is, see, when we say trees, we're talking about trees because they're more visible and people understand what it is. But suppose you make these bunds. Along with that, there are various indigenous bushes and grasses that you have to bring. Right now, using Manrega or whatever, they're digging up the ditches and leaving it there. Now, along with that, all these bunds, if they are planted with necessary vegetation, this will make a significant difference, noticeable difference in those areas. But now we're going village by village because of the administrative thing. The administrative mechanism may be by village, but it will be better if we go by topographical regions. Suppose we take a certain topography, we work that entire topography in one shot, then the benefit will be so much better, rather than going village by village. If you go village by village, this village will be active, it has a certain leadership, they'll do well, next village they don't care. These things are always happening. So if we focus on a topographical feature and bring natural vegetation need not necessarily be trees alone, various other forms of vegetation on these parts, it will make a significant difference for the groundwater. Because without root system, the most important thing is soil should go under shade. This is the important thing. Soil has to go under shade. Soil is burning all the time in the sunlight. We have life only for 39 inches. In these 39 inches, nearly 9 to 12 inches is burnt up because it's plowed and left open for almost 6-7 months in a year. This has to go, it has to be under shade. So what agroforestry is doing is, when we want to do crops, we trim up the trees without any leaf, with hardly any leaf, with very little leaf. When summer comes, when there are no crops, we let them grow in full foliage. This will slow down the growth of the tree, but it doesn't matter, because you are able to grow crops in between, that is important. And above all, what you chop from the trees is a phenomenal manure. We have chopping machines which chop up even this thick branches into just bits like powder and puts it on the land. The humus that is created by taking off these trees is a phenomenal change in the soil, because the soil needs this and the organisms need this food to survive and grow. Only when it is rich with life does it produce food for us.
मुझे लगता है कि अगर मैं अकेले कुछ करूँगा तो आप सब लोग मुझसे ईर्ष्या हो जाएंगे, और मैं आप लोगों की अपॉर्चुनिटी को कम भी नहीं करना चाहता. I open this house now. Anyone can ask question on any subject, not even underwater. I think if we get an enlightenment from Sadguru and take this opportunity, so any question on any subject, it is welcome. Anyone who can give mic to the lady sitting in the last on the corner? Sorry, I'm interrupting. Even if you can share your experiences, what you have learned out of the area which you have worked.
Sir, I'm director in the Ministry of HRD, sir. Sir, I want to know that Sadguru has an ashram in Coimbatore of Isha Foundation. Sir, are there any plans to establish any such centers in northern India so that some narrative is created here also as Kaveri is created there? Thank you, sir.
It's a bit early because we've still not acquired land, but in the next 6 months' time, the work would start around Delhi somewhere.
Good morning, sir. First of all, I congratulate doing such a great job and leading all of us for water conservation, and we all are involved in that. And today we have the gracious presence of Guruji. I have got opportunity to visit Isha Foundation, and my question to Guruji is that what is the synergy between surface water and groundwater? That please give some light on that, sir.
What would you call as surplus water? See, right now, what you're calling as surface water is essentially ponds, lakes and rivers. But in a country like ours, there are no really major lakes except the Chilka Lake. There's really no other lake as it is in other countries. Usually lakes form mainly because of melting ice in those countries. Among mountains, the ice melting forms natural lakes. Here, most of the lakes you have in the country are actually dams. Rivers have been dammed and they have become like reservoirs, but we call them lakes because water is gathered. So surface water, a large part of surface water in our country is essentially rivers. So let's just address that. Ponds are there which service local populations but not really major source of water. So when we say rivers, only 4% of our river water is coming from glacial water. Rest is all forest fed. Our rivers are essentially forest fed. What it means is, as I said already, the rain comes down, because of vegetation it's held in the soil and slowly it trickles down. As you see, most of the southern rivers or all of the southern rivers come from Western Ghats because there is vegetation. If you clear that vegetation, suppose you clear these mountains of vegetation, there will not be a single river left because they are happening only because of rainwater being held in the mountains for a long period of time. There are no snow-capped peaks in the Western Ghats. There is nothing to melt. It is only what is in the soil is coming slowly on the surface. So in a way, when essentially this 39 inches of soil gets saturated with the water, it lets it out. That let out is the surface water. Right now, if rains happen in India, a lot of surface water is flowing, which is an impending disaster. Because surface water flowing means it's taking away the topsoil of the country into some place where it's not useful, some place where life cannot happen. So it's very, very important these flows don't happen. We were talking about this when we were sitting back there. Even in the cities, I've been talking to them, I've been talking to some small cities in the United States, at least to turn the parking lots, because parking lot is a huge space in a map, to turn the parking lots into porous parking lots. Right now they're all concreted like this, so what should be going here is going somewhere else into the gutter and flowing into some other place where it should not go. So we've been talking about this, even their action is taking its own time. A few small towns did something but nothing major. But we can do this in our country. All the inner roads if you can't do the highways, because the highway has some issues of heavy traffic and truck traffic and things like that, where only cars and passenger vehicles are plying, which the load does not go beyond 5-6 tons. Very easily we can make all the roads porous, that the rainwater that comes, you know that every time it rains in Delhi, there is a flood somewhere, pile up of water. That's mainly happening because of the roads being, surface which does not absorb water. We can make roads in such a way to absorb water and you will have a more natural feel to the road and water will go in and this will enhance the groundwater in the city itself. So between surface water and groundwater, if you look at it, in a tropical nation, maximum amount should be groundwater. Surface should be minimal. This is why we are saying, Kaveri nadandu vandadha valam. This means only if she walks. Walks means she flows in a decent way, not in a flood. Right now, we were camping on the Kaveri, the KRS dam in Mysore, in the Kaveri Calling project. I just saw it was full to the brim. Actually, when the wind comes, it's overflowing over the dam. 124 feet and 8 inches. It is full there and it's overflowing. So people are very happy, dam is full, dam is full. But never before in the last 50 years of my experience of being around the Kaveri River had I seen Kaveri brown in color. It's become brown. Why is it brown? Because all the soil in Coorg, which should be there, rich soil, is now coming into the dam. Why is it happening? Because vegetation is gone. So never before in these 50 years, because I was, like continuously, almost every day I was swimming in Kaveri, never have I seen Kaveri brown. Always it was crystal clear. But today you go and see it's brown color. Such a thing should never happen for a river that's coming from rich western Ghats. There should be no soil in it. But it is full of soil today. I would say most of these dams that you have may have to be decommissioned in another 15 to 25 years because they'll be so full of silt and it will be hard to clear them. So surface water in a tropical nation is not of great significance. It is the groundwater which is the main thing. Percentage-wise, nearly 70% of the water available in a tropical nation must be groundwater. And we must not use all of it because all the other life needs it. All the other life that exists in the soil needs moisture in the soil. We can't be just sucking out everything.
Sadhguru, जैसा आपने कहा, to make it, to develop the parking lots or the urban roads as porous structures for percolating water down. This technology in the United States was developed by an Indian, and I had an opportunity to meet him 3 days ago when I visited Jaipur, and he called me from some source. He came to me, and man, he's an old guy of 84 years, has come back to India. वो बहुत दुखी थे कि मैंने पूरी दुनिया में ये टेक्नोलॉजी दिया, सब जगह हो रहा है, हिंदुस्तान में इसके ऊपर कोई काम नहीं हो रहा है, सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत हिंदुस्तान में है. Unfortunately, मैं उनको लेकर के आया, organized a meeting with Nitin ji and the Rural Development Minister Narendra Singh Tomar, and we have decided that in PMGSY, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, 20% of roads we are going to construct in that fashion that they become porous roads, so the water can go down and enrich the underground water resources. Yes, please.
My name is Rakesh from Sadguru Water and Power Association, Sadguru के चरणों में मेरा शिरसाष्टांग नमस्कार अर्पण करता हूँ. सर, इंडिया में हमने अभी तक मेरे नॉलेज के हिसाब से whether we have defined and demarcated the river zone and river system, and whether we have made it, including the small navas, whether we have made it as a public property. I have not come across it. I want to know what shall we do.
I think the river basins have clearly demarcated.
No, I am talking about the river zone, river flow zone. Particular encroachment into the rivers are happening everywhere.
See, agricultural encroachments into the river is a traditional process. In the summers when the rivers withdraw, people crop into the river, and when the flood comes, they will go back. It's a traditional process. It is, if people are building buildings into the river zone, that's a different matter. That has to be just a substantial law to handle that. At the local level, somebody may not be handling it, that's a different matter. So one important thing that everybody raises, and everybody keeps on getting at me, all the activists, you're talking about rivers, but you're not condemning the sand mining. See, sand is an essential ingredient in everything, the construction that's happening, the infrastructure, your home, my home, everything, we need sand. Now I built my home, I'm living comfortably. Now you're a young man, you want to build your home. I said, no, you should not take sand from the river, because this is ecologically damaging. Then what do? You feel guilty. You will tell that agent who will drop the sand in the night. It is double the price or 3 times the price because it's 3 times the price. He will take the risk of doing anything, going anywhere and digging up the sand and bringing it for you. So the simple solution that we suggested in the Rally for Rivers document, which has gone as an official recommendation for all the states, is up to… we said 3,000. If government wants to relax it up to 5,000 or 10,000, they can do it. We said up to 3,000 square feet structures, you can take sand from the river. See, if you go into the river and by hand you fill up your bullock cart or a truck or a tractor and bring it, there is no great damage. You're taking big machinery inside and digging it up. That is a problem. So up to 3,000 square feet buildings, you can take it. Rest of the buildings, give them 2 to 3 years' time, that in this much time everybody must go for industrial sand, and give incentives to set up this sand manufacturing units all over the country. Now the problem is you want to ban something without providing an alternative. Naturally the black market will go up in such a way. Only people who do not know how to operate crime, they will be the ones who will be hit, all others will be going about it and they will pay double the amount and do whatever. So one of the major incursions into the river is sand mining. Machineries have been set up inside. That must go. By hand somebody is taking sand is not a problem. People building buildings into the river basin or into the river zone, there are already laws, it's a question of enforcement. We need to understand as a nation, are we wrong in the policy? I feel most of the policies made are very good. In enforcement, in actuality, they're a little diffused for a variety of reasons. This is not with any one government, this has been our history in the last 7 years, very little diffused in enforcement because a lot of citizens in the country don't understand what's a law, they don't understand they have to follow the law. A lot of people don't understand it's our nation yet. We have this problem. So that has to improve day by day, it cannot be done overnight. It just cannot be done overnight, it has to improve. And more severe punishment should come, restrictions should come, incentives should come to not to do those things, all that. But I don't believe there is a very major incursion into the river zone in my experience of seeing things. Here and there, small things, somebody has built one home, somebody is plowing into the thing. See, agricultural incursion into river zone is not a problem. That is a traditional way we have always operated, not just here, across the world. People do that. That is not a problem. Don't try to stop the farmer in going and plowing the river zone. It's perfectly fine because he only does it seasonally. Rest of the time he will come back. That you cannot stop because a large percentage of the population depends on that alluvial soil. India's civilization has grown only because we made use of the alluvial soil that came through the mountain rivers. So we cannot change that. But is there large constructions coming? It doesn't take much, the ministry can appoint some commission just to look if there are large constructions coming, we can immediately act against them. I don't believe large constructions have come, small incursions have happened.
But I think there is one problem. There is one problem which is bothering all of us. Jameen, whichever is used during the non-monsoon season in the rivers, in river plan, the flood plans, the agriculture is being done. The use of fertilizer and pesticides into that is a good thing because that is just killing the entire ecosystem of the rivers. So I think as the state of Uttar Pradesh has taken an initiative in river ganges that they are promoting organic agriculture, zero chemical fertilizer and pesticides used in that. If they are promoting that in the river plains, that is important, that speaks to that.
That's very important, that's very, very important. And that's very important for the entire land. But in the river basin, it's extremely important that it's organic. And if agroforestry comes along the river basin, it will make a big difference. So if people grow trees along the river, even if it is not their land, if it's a little bit of a river zone, it's not a harm, it's actually beneficial for the river. But there are a small group of people in the country going about campaigning, trees are dangerous for the river because it drinks up all the water. There is a group of people campaigning against Kaveri, calling against Rallying rivers, saying rivers are dangerous for the nation. So, when we say a tree, we must understand. This is how I started Project Green Hands. When I saw, this was in 1997, when certain UN agencies came to India and made a prediction that 60% of Tamil Nadu will become a desert by 2025. I'm not somebody who likes predictions, because a prediction means you're just discounting all the human potential. What human beings can do has been discounted and looking at the trajectory from the existing situations. So I would believe that because agriculture has been happening for so long and very well before. So I personally drove around Tamil Nadu just to see what is happening. Then I saw they were wrong. I saw this desertification will happen well before 2025. So that's when I started a project called Project Green Hands. As the first experiment, this hill which was there behind us, which was shown of all big trees. There were no trees except a little bit of bamboo and bushes, all trees taken out because the very land in which today part of the ashram is was a furniture industry, illegally functioning. Rest of the mountains are very rich with rainforest. This one hill was totally gone. In summers it would become brown and our temperatures were higher than Coimbatore city in the ashram. Then I put 4,700 volunteers, I think. 23 days. I gave them 2 meals and a song to sing. And we planted over 6 million trees. So I just wanted to see if it will work or not. Then I watched for 1.5 years whether it will come up or not, because the soil was rich, everything bounced up. Today if you go on this hill, all the trees are just 18 to 20 years old. They're all just about this much. And today, if you come in the month of May, it's still green and our temperatures are at least 3 to 4 degrees in Coimbatore city. So once I saw that this could be done, only in 23 days, we didn't give up our life to do this. 23 days, just joyfully singing a song, we just put up the 6 million trees out there. So from that next 6 years I spent planting trees in people's heads, which is the most difficult terrain. After that, we are only transplanting from people's head to the land. Soil is very tree-friendly. It's only human head which is acidic. Soil is very tree-friendly and that's happening. And how we did this is, I made, in every village we made few hundred people, 1,000 people sit under a tree and breathe. A certain spiritual process I set up for them. And made them experience with eyes closed. What you exhale is tree's inhalation, what they exhale is your inhalation. One part of your breathing apparatus is hanging out there. Once they felt this, now you can't stop them from planting trees. In Tamil Nadu, planting trees has become a culture now. Everybody is talking about planting trees. From our organization, we planted around 40 million trees. But very easily, another 40 to 50 million trees have been planted by various other people, simply because everybody took it up. Over 120 organizations have come up, wanting to plant trees in various cities, various towns, villages, all kinds of things. I thought that is what is needed in the country, that we need a culture, which is what right now these missions, which are driven by the government trying to do, to create a culture of cleanliness, to create a culture of consciousness about water. This is very important because in this country, you cannot do anything by policy. If you want something significant to happen, you have to make it an emotional movement, otherwise it is not going to happen.
Any questions which
Good afternoon to Minister.
Is it a water or a non-water question?
It's about agriculture and plantation economics. Vanakkam to Sadguru. I am from land of Vaigai, the old Madurai, land of spices, Kodinag. I visited Talai in 2017. I saw Talai Kaveri was dry. And I also saw that lot of we are promoting exports. Tea plantations, coffee plantations, and spices trade depends on the Western Ghats and the hill locations. I have seen the first forests are being cleared, land is being cleared, and they are converting to coffee plantation. My question to Sadhguruji is how to balance the exports, production in plantation economics, and the watershed management. That's all.
See, as you know, coffee, not so much tea, but coffee needs a certain greenhouse effect. That's why you're planting all those trees. Without tree shade, coffee cannot grow. Now there are breeds of coffee, one breed that you must be aware of called Kaveri, which grows in the plains and yielding as good as what happens in gold, if only if you create sufficient greenhouse effect. Now to grow vegetables, to grow coffee, everybody understands in the world you need a greenhouse effect, so they will live plastic tents. But why? Why can't we create a greenhouse effect by putting the right kind of trees and bushes and whatever else is needed? Because the idea of the word greenhouse comes from this. If you, as children, I don't know, because you come from Vaigai, you might have spent some time. There are mango trees which are grown like this. As children, when we went, because summer season we spent all our life on the branches of the mango tree. If you sat there, you would be simply sweating because the greenhouse effect on you. This is all you need. This is all you need for coffee, this is all you need for vegetables and spices. Maybe a little technological support also you can offer by having micro sprays and things like that. Today there is technology also to boost whatever else we do in terms of nature. So, in terms of growing coffee, the problem of our coffee growing has been that there is no value upgradation. Today Karnataka government is trying to… just now when I was in Davos, the Karnataka chief minister offered me 4 packets of gourmet coffee produced in Karnataka. I have not tasted it yet, it's still in my suitcases because I've just come. But this is a good thing. We need to do value addition. Otherwise, we're just selling by the ton. It's just such a waste. Instead of going on increasing production in terms of quantity, it is important we increase the value of the produce. So not much work has been done in India regarding this. This value addition is happening elsewhere. They are multiplying it. For example, I was in Los Angeles, I'm sitting in a coffee shop and they come and ask me, do I want turmeric in my coffee? I said, what? They said, turmeric. Oh, turmeric. Why would I have turmeric in my coffee? They said, no, it's cancer preventive, it's this, that's curcumin, whatever. I said, every day, whatever we eat in South India without turmeric, there is no cooking. Then I asked them the first thing, where are you getting your turmeric? Are you getting it from Tamil Nadu? They said, no, we're getting it from Cambodia. I said, Cambodia? Cambodia started turmeric cultivation only 25 years ago. We've been doing this forever, 1,000 years. How come? Then they say the curcumin level is so low in Tamil Nadu that it is twice out there in Vietnam and Cambodia. Then I come out here and check out why this is so. The main thing is soil. As I said, agroforestry, people who are doing with turmeric, their curcumin level has gone up significantly. We need to do this without enriching the soil. Your coffee, your turmeric, your spices have no value because they don't have the spice. So it's important we upgrade the quality rather than just increasing the quantity, because after some time nobody will touch your coffee beans because it doesn't have the necessary flavor.
Yeah, please. I think we will put the last question because we will be running against the time.
Can I have a question?
Yeah, please. You just wait for a minute, please. Yeah.
Honorable Minister, Honorable Sadhguru, Honorable Secretary. Sir, Honorable Minister, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. And I I would like that, I'm from Department of Atomic Energy, Joint Secretary there, in some way associated with the district for the rest of my life. If there's something, which could be done by designating so that, one could visit and continue the work, interact with the people. That is one request. And Honorable Sadguru, Namaskaram. It's such a great privilege, to stand in front of you and have an opportunity to ask a question. Sadhguru, in your speeches, you have given always importance to the 5 elements. Apart from many other things, water is one of the elements. And since because of the climate change and things happening, are there any changes which are happening in our constitution because of the changes which are happening in water, etc.? That is one question. And secondly, Sadhguruji, like you have given a great gift of inner engineering, which one can practice every day. Is there anything one can do every day to get associated with water conservation or tree plantation? I am not actually doing it, but in some way can we get associated in everyday life? Thank you so much.
Well, regarding the first question, is there any change happening in our system? Definitely it is. Well, I'm just saying there's so much data and statistics about it which is scary in the world. Just to put some things into perspective. Today in the United States there are about 1.2 million people. So at home every day, feces, human feces is being pumped into their system. In our culture, we would think that's the worst thing to do to a human being. But human feces is being pumped into their system simply because the fluids in their body do not support bacteria. So in the end, you have to get human feces back into you. What should go out is going back into you, unfortunately. So one of the reasons is the water is chlorinated. You're drinking poison. See, what kills all the bacteria? What makes you think it will make you thrive? It's a genius idea, I don't know who got this idea. These things are made when one infection happens, okay, let's poison the whole place. This is coming out of fear and too much concentration of populations. Too much concentration of population in one place. Infections are spreading wild. So the only way is to poison the water, poison the air, poison everything that we are using. Food is poisoned, water is poisoned, land is poisoned. Then how do you think you will thrive? In terms of yogic perspective, if you look at it, I essentially come from the stables of Kriya Yoga. But can I really teach Kriya Yoga in the world today? No. I wouldn't find even 8 to 12% of human beings on the planet fit for Kriya Yoga. You can teach them some Kriya, but you can't put them on the rigor of Kriya Yoga because Kriya Yoga is an intense process. Most human bodies are not capable of taking it. There may be a variety of reasons for this, but I feel the elemental downgrade that is happening in the world, the air is not pure, the water is not pure, the food is not pure. Because of this, you cannot teach people proper Kriya Yoga anymore. There's only maybe about 8 to 12% who are competent. Rest of the people need lots of preparation before you can put them on it. This could be mainly all the elements, but water is an important thing because over 70% is water. If you fix the water, you're 70% fine, 70% of your problems are over if you fix the water that you consume. So there is a whole science in yoga about how to consume water. The water is here, but how to consume this, in what form it should be, how it should be. There is a whole science about it. Today we are ignoring all that and drinking out of plastic bottles, drinking anywhere. I see in United States everybody drinks like this with mouth open. It is a disaster, I'm telling you, because water has memory. When I said this, there are lots of so-called educated people in this country who've been screaming, oh, he's propagating pseudoscience, nonsense, he's spreading superstition. Then a Japanese scientist gets a Nobel Prize because he said water has memory, it's a living computer, it's a liquid computer. So the moment it is from outside the country, it is science. It is intrinsic to our culture, it cannot be science. We've gotten into such a negative mood about this. See, right now, this water is here in this copper vessel. Maybe they just poured it, that's not the way. Suppose 4 to 6 hours if it was in this vessel. The quality of this water is very, very different. Very, very different. And it's very important, it has no sharp corners. This we took care of, always. In southern India, in traditional homes, you can't even today, either a brass or copper vessel is kept. Every day they will worship this vessel, they will apply vibhuti on it, and before drinking water, then only consume water. Because you have not seen any God in heaven. What nourishes you every day is the food that you eat, the water that you drink, the air that you breathe, and the soil that you walk upon is your life, isn't it? If 48 hours, if there's not a drop of water to drink, even if God appears, you'll only ask for water, not heaven. So unfortunately, we've gotten into unrealistic modes. So yoga is not about something else. Yoga is about most important thing, the most phenomenal thing that's happening here is life. Only because you're alive, everything else is meaningful, isn't it? For you to be alive, how this liquid behaves in your body, what it is another matter. How you receive it and how it behaves within you is very, very important. So how do you consume it? All of you just do this one thing for the next 1 month and notice this. One thing is, if you can't you can get a copper vessel or a brass vessel in India very easily. You keep it in that. We have also made copper bottles for you to travel with everywhere. If you want, we'll gift one to all of you. Please carry that with you. Even if it comes in a plastic bubble, put it in this, keep it overnight and then drink it. Before you drink it, just a little bit of gratitude. Suppose I didn't have this, what it is? What is my life if I didn't have this next to me? You must look at that with a little bit of gratitude. You drink it and you will see how it will change. When I said this, they laughed. Today, just recently about, we have prepared certain things so that your body is in touch with copper. You will see a lot of people are wearing a copper ring, there are other copper things, and we've made what is called as a kavacha, a combination of copper and solidified mercury. I tested this on 4 people till now. Now we're going to make a much more larger scale test. 4 people who are continuously falling sick with infections, all kinds of infections. One of them with a very chronic ailment. I just put this 6-inch to 8-inch long copper, it's called a kavacha, you just wear it, it also has solidified mercury inside of that. You just wear this only and go to sleep for about 6 hours, it's on your body. I'm telling you, within 2 months, these people are completely okay. It's been over 8 months, they've not had a single infection since they wore this and went to sleep. They're not wearing it during the day because it looks odd, you can design it in such a way it looks like an ornament. But right now it's just a simple thing that we made just to see if it works. A significant difference. We tried this on a child which has, like a small, like a 12-year-old girl who has cancer spread all over her body. We're testing this whether it will work. But in the meantime, last month, some scientific studies are released in Scientific American. They are saying the copper nanoparticles are the best preventive for cancer. So water, if it is in contact with this, all this benefit you're taking. This is how we came to this thing. Water that you drink must be treated. It's not just some water that you pick up. Before it enters your system, it should have a certain quality, you must receive it in a certain way, because over 70% of your body is water. What quality of water will determine what kind of life you are. It's not just about physical health. The very way you think, feel, understand and experience life is determined by this. You could try this, it'll make a big difference. Like in engineering, there's something to participate. Well, I mean, many of you are in the ministry, definitely you have a great opportunity to participate through the schemes. But if you want to participate in Kaveri calling, it is not for the sake of money alone, but as you feel that you are a part of this. One tree costs 42 rupees. I'm not campaigning for money sitting here, but you participate, either yourself or tell somebody. 1 tree a month, 42 rupees. All right, it's not even a coffee. Because the idea is the India's population should be committed. It's not Prime Minister's business to change this land, it's our business. He can direct it, he can move it, he can administer that, but it is the people of this nation who have to take it up. Otherwise, what is it? We are going around as if we are foreigners in this land. It's time we understand this is our land. And one disastrous idea that people have in their head is that they go into heaven. What heaven means is, there is a better place than this. If there is a better place, such people should go today. You must understand, this is the place to live, and we must make this into a habit.
Sadhguru, as you are told, the political governments have lifespan of 5 years. And I think the government sitting outside, in front of us, they have a lifespan of 35 years. They are more important. That's why
you must understand they are more important than you. that is
why I wanted to tell you. So they are more important, and ये लोग समझेंगे तो मुझे लगता है ज़्यादा impact होगा और long time impact होगा. Thank you very much, Sadhguru. I think, and the lady at the last, to whom I request to stop. A very short question, please.
I'm Archana Sarkar from the National Institute of Hydrology in Roorkee. Sadhguruji, I directly come to the question.
We need your help now. With your qualifications, we need your help.
So you mentioned about the marine ingress, and also that at least 25% of the river water should go to the sea. Now there is a new concept of coastal reservoirs. One is already there in Shanghai, and I know that in India also now research is started on creating coastal reservoirs, which is underground concrete reservoir, and which will trap the fresh water of the river, which should actually go to the estuary. So, what is your opinion on this? I mean, because the kind of crisis we have for, say, drinking water, so this is the immediate solution. That's my question.
See, there are engineering solutions and there are ecological solutions. One significant thing in the last 25 years, I've been continuously talking about it in various world bodies. One significant thing I've seen in the perception of the United Nations and now in the perception of the World Economic Forum and various other bodies, UNCCD, with which we are partners, and UNCCC, with which we are partners, one significant perceptual change that has occurred in the last few years is, now all of them are very clear, nature-based solutions are far more important than engineering solutions, or even reducing emissions. Reducing emissions must happen, there's no question about that. But nature-based solutions are the most important to correct the problem. To slow down the problem, you can slow down the emissions. But to correct the problem, as I said, 1 trillion trees could sequester 2 gigatons of carbon, that would fix everything. So these engineering solutions, drastic engineering solutions we will do today and regret later. Any kind of extreme digging in the coastal area is an absolute no if you ask me. Because this will hasten the marine ingress much more. You having a kind of… what we're talking about is a dam at the… very close to the ocean. That is not good at all because there is a whole ecosystem in the first 80 kilometers of the peninsular land. There is a whole ecosystem in the ocean which is not marine ecology, which is submarine kind of… it is a transmarine kind of thing between fresh water and marine water. There is a kind of ecology. So do we want to destroy all of that? See, we must first of all understand, this once again is a religious idea put into the minds of people. Somebody said that all other life is here to serve us, to serve humanity. This disastrous idea has made us do such terrible things. Well, if you observe an ant or an elephant, you will see they have a complete life of their own. They don't care a damn about you. They don't care a damn whether you exist or not. They have a complete life process of their own. Because I spend more time with them than people. I know they have a complete life system of their own have their family, their society, their administration. I don't know who is their prime minister, but they have a complete system of their own. And if we think we can structure this world only around the human being, well, that's going to be the biggest disaster, because I want you to understand there is only one problem on this planet right now, human being. There is simply no other good problem. People think there are many problems. No, there is only one problem, human being. If you and me were not here, it's perfect, isn't it? Hello? Every other creature knows how to live with nature. We are the only ones. So let us not go for extreme engineering solutions. Nature-based solutions are very, very important.
I think much as we would like to continue, I think we'll have to bring this fascinating session to a close. It's been incredibly enlightening, Sadguru and Honorable Minister, for this informal conversation which went well beyond water and taught us a whole bunch of other things. So I think we are incredibly grateful. Thank you once again for this fascinating session. I don't think anyone would have such an opportunity of seeing the Sadguru in flesh and blood. They've listened to all, seen all your videos. But it's been fascinating. Thank you so much. And we now request Honorable Minister to, as a token of our esteem, to present Sadguru with a shawl and a memento, please. Thank you so much, and we will always treasure